Yo, what is up everybody? My name is Jacob Karash. I am the owner and founder of TB10 Studios, Film and Entertainment. And today, we're going to be talking about the 5 biggest mistakes beginners make when it comes to filmmaking. So, let's get right into the video. So, today we're talking about the 5 biggest mistakes every beginner makes. Even I made this. I have friends who have made these mistakes, and I have fixed them. But the first one is most beginners don't quite know when to use what focal length or what lens. Like this is more of an interview talking setting, so I'm using a 50mm lens. So it's really compressed, it's zoomed in on my face, looks very good, most accurate to the human eye, and it's got that nice blurry background because I'm using it. It's got an f-stop of 1.8, that's the lowest, so it gives that really nice bokeh blurry background that you're looking for. But then most people use a kit lens, which a default kit lens for Canon cameras at least would be a 18 to 55mm, and it's not as sharp, it's not as great, and overall not great. But my camera never came with the kit lens, so I currently have Canon's 28 to 80mm zoom lens, and it is pretty good, yeah. It's not as sharp and as nice as that one. That's fine. But the thing is that you need to learn when to use wide shots, like 18mm to 20mm, 18mm to like 25, 28mm lenses are really meant for establishing wide shots to capture the entire scene of the surroundings around you. Then like 35 to 50, that's more of a close-up shot. So 50 would be more here. 35, I'd probably get closer, or like the over-the-shoulder shots would mainly be 35 to 40. Then we are talking about like long shots, so when you're really far away or you really want some compression in the background so it doesn't seem that it seems a lot closer than it really is. That's more of the 70 to 100 to even 120mm. And if you're going over 120, then you're most likely a wildlife photographer and trying to keep your distance from wildlife. So you don't really need to worry about that in film, because there are very few instances where you use 120 or up focal lengths. Like, I don't know why you need 120mm. The next thing would be lighting. Lighting is very, very important, like absolutely essential. You have no idea. I'm currently using a lot of natural light, which is like the best thing you can have is natural light. See, I have a window open and it's my main light source. I don't even have an extra light set up here or here. And then I have a hair light right behind me, which kind of just separates me from the background and overall gets a better looking image. Now, let's say we didn't have any of this on. It'd be way too dark. It'd be absolutely horrible. It wouldn't look nice. And then you could be like, oh, I can just bump up the ISO. Remember, your native ISO is one of the most important things ever. You do not want to bump up the ISO for low light shots. No. What I suggest, if your camera, if you're doing mobile filmmaking, just try to avoid low light shots overall. But if you do, you need to flood it with light and just color grade it later. Rookies are known for using daytime shots and trying to make it nighttime. Doesn't really work well. Just bring some lights out into the forest with you at night and figure out what you're gonna do there. But you need to have light. Light is very important. And if your camera can't handle low light, then you got a problem. You got a big problem right then and there. You see, you have to be able to handle some form of low light. And you might need to figure out ways to get around it. Like, I'm shooting on the Canon Rebel T3. It's got horrible low light. Its max ISO is 6400, and it looks garbage when it's recording at that. So, what I suggest is, sorry, I'm very tired. What I suggest is bring some studio lights with you when you're filming at night or outside, like in the evening, and just try to match the lighting that where the sun would be or where the moon would be, and then just darken it in post a little bit. You really want to stick with your native ISO. With like the native ISO of this camera is 100 to 400. I'm currently at an ISO of 400, so I'm barely, I'm right at the bottom of the native ISO for this camera. And that's why I'm flooding my scene with a bunch of light to get a better look because, well, let's say I went to ISO 1300 and it would look overexposed, wouldn't look good. Speaking of that, number 4. Yes, that number 4, so we did focal, lighting, ISO. Yeah, number 4. You gotta, like, exposure is so important. Now, with different cameras, you don't have the same dynamic range, which is understandable, and that's okay. Like this camera, I have like 4 stops of dynamic range, which is not at all the best. But I'm using CineStyle, so it's kind of a flat color profile, a log color profile, so I can do color grading. And, well, it's kind of difficult to properly expose for this, but the thing that I suggest is overexpose this. If you're using CineStyle, overexpose it. Just the status bit. See here, I actually have a perfect exposure. That's not good. I should not have done that. Well, the fact that I'm inside is fine. With this perfect exposure, it's fine. But if I'm outside, overexpose it just a little bit because you want more detail in the shadows. Personally, the shadows are so much more important, and I've talked about this in how to color grade CineStyle in a past video, so I'll link that in the title card, and you can go check that out. Now, number 5. Camera only matters. Biggest mistake. The camera is not the only thing that matters. We've already talked about lighting. We haven't talked about sound. A lot of rookies just use the onboard microphone to their cameras, and if I switched to the onboard microphone of this camera, y'all would go deaf because of how garbage it is. That's why I suggest using an external microphone. I am using one right now. It's very, very important. I am using an external sound recorder with a lavalier microphone hooked to my shirt. This is my favorite setup for audio. A Zoom H1N, which is about $120 on Amazon, with a SmartLab Pro, which is like another $40 on Amazon. One of the best investments I've ever made for film. Has the best crisp audio I've ever had, like, in the world, ever heard, ever. It's amazing. And it's on a budget. It's one of my favorite setups. Now, another microphone that you can use is the Tascam SGC598, I believe. I have not been using that a lot recently because I just adored the Smart Lav. But I will be doing a little bit more of the Tascam in future videos. In fact, I'll be doing a review on the Tascam later. But, like, sound is very important. The camera is not the only thing that matters. Personally, I think if you have a great sound design in your film and your camera's and you have a good story, you got a good film on your hands. If you have a great camera, a really crappy story, and crappy audio, no. Horrible film. If you have a good camera and a good story, but crappy audio, still, that really drops your film. Like, oh, and number 6, story is very important. Don't skimp out on the story. Don't be like, oh, that's an interesting story, and then, let's film it. Go read through your script a dozen times. Get a bunch of other people's opinions on it, and just please, don't go with your original idea. Never go with your original idea. There's gotta be some trial and error there, because a lot will change. But anyway, that's the end of the video here. so gotta end it out. Thank you all for watching. Oh my gosh, cloud cover is gone. I'm overexposing. The cloud cover is gone. Wow. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified of all of our new content. Also, just a disclaimer, I'm just telling you guys now, I really miss being able to post pretty much whatever I want. So, this still is a film-based channel, but I'm going to be doing a lot more for fun posts on here because I need to get constant content on here, which I can't do because of school and all that. But I do a bunch of vlogging and stuff with friends, and it's another form of entertainment for you guys. Now, this is still a film-based channel, but we have a little bit of extra content to keep you guys entertained and have you guys enjoy. I'm just telling you all this now, and I'm not going to be posting video games on here, sadly. I'll be posting video games on JacobDolixSec, so go check out that channel. Link in the description down below. And just thank you all so much for your support and getting us to 136 subscribers. I'm so hyped about that. Can't wait to get up to 200. And join our Patreon, link in the description down below, because you've got incredible options there for like behind the scenes and all of that type of stuff. So please join our Patreon and check out our website. Pretty soon we'll have a shop, and I am currently working on our shop here, and I'm coming out with a fall LUT pack. It's called the Fall Cine LUT pack. It's got 12 amazing custom-made LUTs that I have spent hours perfecting, so you can adjust and have full customization over it. And it's only $15, so just head over to the website when the shop's done. I'll tell you when it's done. There'll be an announcement video. We'll be all excited, but just letting you all know, pretty soon you'll have my first LUT pack for sale. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye.